whatever happens in this game, it can't be worse than the last two, right? Maybe I'm jinxing it. We'll talk about that on today's Locked on Blue Jackets.
You're Locked on Blue Jackets, your daily podcast on the Columbus Blue Jackets, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked on Blue Jackets, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day. I am, as always, your host, Jay Foster, here to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly about your favorite team and mine, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Before we get things started, I want to thank everyone for making this your first listen of the day every single day. Locked on Blue Jackets is free and available on all podcast platforms and over on YouTube. I also have to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Download the app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Well, this game feels like it's going to be really stupid tonight, right? Like, I feel like the last time these two teams played, the last time these two teams played was that 7-6 overtime game where everything happened. I don't know if it's going to be that brand of stupid again, but I feel like something stupid is going to happen in this game. The Canucks are kind of a team that's all over the place at the minute. Blue Jackets are a team that's all over the place at the minute. It just feels right that this game is going to be stupid. You know, maybe it'll be stupid in the Blue Jackets' favor. We can only hope, right? Whatever happens, the Blue Jackets need to rebound in today's game. Like, they need to have a better effort than they did against Calgary, a better effort than they did against the Islanders. A win would be nice. But I would, honestly, at this point, maybe take, hey, what if the game is not awful to watch? Which is maybe a low bar. But like I said, the Canucks are a weird team. This is an eminently winnable game for the Blue Jackets, right? Although I said that about Calgary, and look what happened. I don't understand basically anything about the Canucks on any kind of given moment, right? Like, they're getting good goaltending from Thatcher Demko, who I think is injured at the minute. Evander Kane's got 4 points in his last 5 games, including 3 goals. Like, Quinn Hughes looks extremely human so far this season. I believe they said that he's got like 1 even strength point coming into this game. He's got 8 points in 11 games, but I believe 7 of those have been on the power play. Like, I might be wrong about that, but like he looks extremely not Quinn Hughes. Like, and again, he's missed time with injury. I think he's playing tonight, but I wouldn't want to put money on that fact necessarily. The good news is Elias Pettersson, or Elias Pettersson, looks a lot more like his old self, right? Like, he's still not the 100-point player of a couple of seasons ago, but 10 points in 15 games, like that's kind of what they need from him, right? And the Canucks as a team are, again, just kind of make no sense. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They're 7-8 on the season. They're coming off of a loss to Chicago. In their last 5 games, they've gone loss, win, loss, win, loss. Like I said, just a lot happening. I don't know, again, as to whether Thatcher Demko is going to be good to go. He's been quite good for them. It's 5-4 on the season, has a 912 save percentage. If I was going to put money on it, I would suspect that it's probably going to be Kevin Lankinen, who has not been as good as Demko. He's got an 880 save percentage. He's only 2-4 on the year after really quite a good year last year for the Canucks. So again, it feels like the Canucks are a team where you can't have 2 good things 2 years in a row, right? Like, last year, Elias Pettersson was not very good. This year, he's looked better. Last year, Lankinen was great. This year, he doesn't look so great. Like, the Quinn Hughes thing still makes no sense to me, but there's a lot going on with the Canucks. And it really is hard to predict, again, which way this team is going to go. They kind of, again, near-ish the Blue Jackets in the standings. Like, the Blue Jackets have 7 wins, 6 losses. The Canucks have 7 wins, 8 losses. So, like, the Blue Jackets are above them, but only by, the Canucks have lost They've played 2 more games in the Blue Jackets and they've lost both of them, right? So who can really say which way this is going to go? They don't really have great special teams. It doesn't look like they're doing a bunch at 5-on-5 either. They're 27th in the league in goals for per game and 25th in goals against per game. So they're not scoring a ton. They're not keeping a ton out either. Like there's just they make no sense to me. Which is, I feel like that's just kind of the Canucks' default state of being, right? Is I feel like the Canucks are never a team that makes a ton of sense. And I don't know how it's going to go. It genuinely could go either way. We'll talk about predictions a little bit later on in the episode. But the good news for the Blue Jackets is it looks like they've dodged a bullet with the Monahan injury, knock on wood. Obviously, we won't know until later today. I believe they're going to see how they feel this morning, give them a skate, see how they feel after the skate, and then decide whether or not Monahan's going to play, and also Mateychuk, who missed the Calgary game. So if they've got both of those guys back in, it's great news. Especially because I think, like, I definitely thought the worst when I saw the Monahan injury. I guess maybe just a stinger. I don't know. He practiced yesterday, which is great news. They're going to see how he feels today. If he's in, great. If he's not, then figure that out down the lineup, right? I will say I really, really like the new look lines that Dean Evason has put together. I don't know whether they're going to hold. I think the lines I saw were from Jeff Svoboda at Jackets Insider, and he basically said that they've been moving the lines around a lot, but this was the most like common combinations. I guess there was a word I wanted, and it's gone forever. So they've put Fantilli on that top line, which is great news. I assumed that Monahan being healthy meant that actually that wouldn't be the case. I was like, oh, okay, well, Fantilli's going to go back to playing with Jenner and Wood, and we're going to have this whole song and dance all over again. But it looks like Fantilli's up with Voronkov and Marchenko. Love that. That's a line that I've been banging the drum about for a while. Maybe Dean Evason is listening to the show. I don't know. Second line is Miles Wood, Sean Monahan, and Kent Johnson, which is also a line that I like. Again, I've kind of been wanting to see Monahan and Johnson together for an extended look for a while now. And Wood he's got speed. He knows where he's supposed to be, right? Like, he doesn't have the highest hockey IQ in the world, but he is smart enough to know someone else has the puck. He's just going to basically make a beeline for the goal and either crash the net, get the rebound, deflect the puck in. Like, great. I still don't think he's an option long term for the second line, but I don't hate him as an option there. Third line, they've kept the same, which I find very funny. Sillinger, Kyle Olivier. And then the fourth line is actually going to be Boone Jenner, Luka Del Barbalus, and Igor Chinikov, it looks like, which is, again, a line that I love. Like, that is a sneaky good line to me. Love to see Chinikov back in the lineup. Love to see Del Barbalus getting option. Surprised that Zach Aston Reese is out. Because I think that Dean Evason really likes him. I'm also kind of surprised that Lundestrom is looking like he might be on the outside. Just because I think that he hasn't done a lot necessarily, but like he's one of those players that nothing really happens when he's on the ice, right? Which is not necessarily a bad thing, because sometimes you don't want your fourth line to do a lot, but you also don't want the other team to do anything while the fourth line is on, right? And he's been a really good type of player for just kind of killing plays. Like it's not super exciting when he's on the ice, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I'm excited to Del Barbalus get back into the lineup. I think Del Barbalus and Chinikov together is a really fun combination. And then you add Jenner into that, and I think Jenner playing more sheltered minutes on a lower line, playing fewer minutes, he's still going to get his power play. He's still going to get his power play time. He's still going to get his penalty kill time. Like, Jenner will be fine, right? But this feels like a much more suitable place for him. I might flip Olivier and Jenner Because I do think that Jenner is probably closer to a third-line player than a fourth-line player, but I'm not going to sit here and split hairs about the bottom six, right? And I understand that they want to keep that Sillinger, Coyle, Olivier line together because for the most part it works, right? Mostly I'm really, really excited about seeing Adam Fantilli up on that top line. I would not be surprised to see that line explode tonight. I don't know whether it'll last. I don't know whether this is a case of they're gonna shelter Monahan's minutes a little bit if he's not 100%. Very similar to Mateychuk got hurt in the Islanders game. Missed he got his ice time not cut completely, but there was a lot of Fabro double shifted a lot in his place. We saw a lot of the top. We saw a lot of Werenski, Fabro, Provorov, Stevenson in that game, right? Mateychuk did not get a lot of minutes at all. And I wonder if we're kind of maybe going to see the same thing here of maybe put Jenner in that second line center slot if Monahan can't, do some of the heavy lifting. So whether it's just out of necessity to basically not have to mess with the top line, whether it's that they want to give that top line a shot. Obviously, when Monahan went down with the injury last season was when Fantilli really took off. You put him between Marchenko and Voronkov, and off he went, right? I don't know whether they're trying to get Fantilli going. I don't know whether it's, again, Monahan, but the fact that, and we'll talk about Mateychuk in relation to this as well a little bit, the fact that Monahan is rotating in the top six, probably a pretty good sign, right? If they thought he wasn't going to be ready to go, probably he would be rotating someone else in that position, right? But it doesn't look like anyone's rotating in and out. So I guess, unless Steen Everson sees something at morning skate that he doesn't like, whether Monahan can't go or whatever, it looks like these are going to be the lines that they're going to be going with to play the Canucks tonight. And I'm really, really excited about these lines. Again, the defense looks like it's back, which again, similar to the Monahan thing, Denton Mateychuk was practicing on that top pairing with Zach Werenski, which I love. Love to see that. Love to see healthy Mateychuk. He's not rotating in with another defenseman, right? They've not got a placeholder in for Mateychuk, right? He's rotating in on that top pairing. Again, sounds like they're mixing things up, but the fact that they're not rotating another guy in is probably a pretty good sign that probably this is, again, what the Blue Jackets are going to go with in tonight's game, which I'm more than happy with. Again, I would love to see more from Christensen and Fabro, but which, I would love to see them play more. I like what they're doing in their minutes. I would like to see more of that. I don't know that we will, but great to see Mateychuk back. And again, I stand by what I said in the, was he missed in the Calgary game? Yes, absolutely. Would rather him miss that one game than play that game, get hurt. Rasmus Andersson, for some reason, really doesn't seem to like Columbus. So sit Mateychuk, rest him. He hasn't played since Sunday now because of the road trip weirdness. Hopefully he's 100% again. Again, we'll find out after morning skate, after probably maybe not even until pre-game availability from Dean Everson before the game. But I'm gonna go out on a limb maybe and say actually this is probably about as good of news as you could expect, right? You see Monahan go down with the injury. Mateychuk's already out. They had to basically drag Delbar Blues onto a plane as fast as they can and get him to Vancouver in case someone doesn't want to go. And I guess they want to put him in a game while he's here just to save him the annoyance of having to drag his butt all the way to BC and not play. Which is kind of I've given Dean Everson a lot of stick the past week and a half of questionable choices. I do think that this is very different to, for example, I think about the I believe it was the Vegas road trip, or it was either the Western Canada trip or the California trip, or they were out somewhere and they basically pulled maybe they were in Utah, I don't remember. They pulled Jiricek out of the AHL, sent him cross country to meet the Blue Jackets, to sit in the press box, And then basically as soon as he got there, they were like, oh, actually, no, we don't need you. Sent him back cross country, and he didn't get back in time to play in the Monsters games that weekend. So they basically just like, instead of playing games, he basically just sat on a plane and then hung out in a hotel room and then sat on a plane again and didn't play for either the NHL or the AHL level. So I'm really glad to see that they're not doing that with Del Barbaloos, because obviously the Monsters are going to be without him. They played last night, lost to Providence, I believe, playing again today. If you're going to pull, your one seat out of the AHL, like, I think it's probably good to put him in the lineup in the NHL, if only to just be like, hey, sorry, we dragged you away. Even if we don't need you, we're going to play you, because it just feels like the right thing to do. And again, this is not like a pity thing. I think he deserves to be in the lineup. I think, again, like, Del Barbaloos was probably my pick for one of the 13 best forwards that the Blue Jackets have coming out of training camp. Obviously, he didn't get that, got sent down. He was really mad about it, as I understand. So I would be willing to bet that Del Barbaloos is going to be on a mission tonight, which is great news. You want a guy to be motivated like that, right? So with that, let's talk about predictions. Every day is, the drill. We pick a final score, a winner, and an anytime goal scorer. If you get the final score right, you get a point. If you get the goal scorer right, you get a point. If you get both of them right, you get a bonus point. And if you predict whether it goes to overtime or a shootout correctly, you also get a point for that. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to say, I think this is going to be like a 5-4 or a 6-5 final score. I don't think it's going to be as chaotic as the 7-6 last year, but I do think it's probably going to be, I'd say 5-4. Elvis is going to be playing. See if he bounces back from the Islanders game. Not that he played really well in the Islanders game. I don't think he needs to bounce back from that, but I think the end of the game really got to him. So I think he needs to have a good game, I think, to reset. So, but let's say 5-4 Blue Jackets. And let's say it feels cheating to pick Fantilli again, just because I feel like I've picked him like 4 games in a row. So, you know who I am going to pick? And I'm going to pick Luca Del Barbaloos. I think we're going to get a Luca Del Barbaloos goal tonight. And that's my prediction. So get your predictions down below. There's going to be a tweet going out around about the time this episode goes live, hopefully, that if you want to put your predictions there at LO_Blue Jackets, you can. And we'll see. We're almost 15 games into the season, so we'll be doing another leaderboard check-in after the Edmonton game, I think it is. So get your predictions in and see if you can keep pace with the leaders currently. I'm BJ Foster. You can find me on Twitter you can find me on Blue Sky at JAKOBFORSTEI. You can find the show over on Twitter at LO_Blue Jackets. You can find the show on Blue Sky as well at LO-Blue Jackets. You can find us on TikTok as well. We're doing stuff over there. And thanks for making us your first listen of the day every single day. We're available on podcasts. We're available on YouTube. And we will be back on Monday. No episode tomorrow. We'll be back on Monday, breaking down the good, the bad, and the ugly for tonight's game. Until then, make sure you stay locked on.